In a room where life hung by threads of light and sound. Two strangers drifted close, yet never touched the ground. The ICU, bathed in sterile light and the faint scent of antiseptic, was a place where silence spoke volumes. Monitors beeped in slow, rhythmic pulses, and the soft hissing of ventilators echoed like distant waves crashing on a shore of dreams. Time had a different rhythm here, measured not by hours, but by breaths and heartbeats. Eli Carter, 34, had spent the last 4 days in bed 7. A construction accident had left him with broken ribs, a punctured lung, and a fractured spine. He had fallen 2 stories while fixing a steel beam, a freak misstep that almost took his life. Now, he lay flat on his back, tubes in his chest, unable to speak above a whisper, and unable to see past the beige curtain next to his bed. Beyond that curtain, in bed 8, lay Lena Brooks. She was 30, a music teacher at an elementary school, known for her angelic voice and passion for teaching. Pneumonia had brought her here, but a rare immune reaction had worsened her condition. The fever had finally broken, but breathing still came like pulling air through a straw. She too lay in the quiet, staring at the ceiling tiles like a constellation she had yet to decipher. Eli and Lena didn't know each other. They hadn't spoken or seen one another. But one night, something changed. Lena began to hum. It was soft, broken, almost accidental, Billie Holiday's "I'll Be Seeing You." A song her mother used to sing to her when she was sick. The melody trembled from her lips like a fragile thread of comfort trying to stitch her back to health. Eli's ears caught the tune. He hadn't heard that song in years. His mother had also loved Billie. That melody was etched into his childhood, nestled between memories of her dancing barefoot in their living room. Lena didn't know someone was listening. Eli didn't know how to respond. But both felt something that night. An invisible thread pulling 2 broken people together. The next night, Lena did it again. This time intentionally. She hummed, "What a Wonderful World." The music felt like a rebellion against the silence, a protest against the machines and pain. Eli, fingers still weak, tapped the bed rail. A faint rhythm. He couldn't hum, couldn't speak, but he could tap. Lena paused. Then smiled. She kept humming, and his tapping continued. They had found a way to talk without words. Later, she asked a nurse if she could play music softly. The nurse agreed, as long as it didn't disturb anyone. Lena connected her small speaker and played Louis Armstrong's version of the same song. Eli listened. The song wrapped around him like a warm blanket. That night, he managed to press play on his phone for a return message, John Lennon's "Imagine." Back and forth it went. Jazz. Soul. Classical. Blues. A quiet duet across a curtain of cloth and air. Each song was a message. A confession. A piece of their past. They hadn't seen each other's faces, but they were slowly unwrapping each other's hearts. By the second week, Eli could sit up with help. His fingers still trembled, but he could write, barely. One morning, he scribbled a shaky message on a paper towel. "Your music heals." The nurse smiled and passed it under the curtain. Minutes later, a reply came. "You are not alone." It became their routine. Napkins, paper towels, notepad scraps, messages sent across the divide. Some notes were light-hearted, jokes about hospital food, songs they loved, memories. Others were deeper. "I taught 3rd graders. They call me Miss B. I miss their chaos. I worked construction. Just bought my first house. Haven't seen it since the fall." One day, Lena wrote. "If I make it, I want to sing on a real stage again. Maybe for patients like us." Eli replied. "If I make it, I'll be in the front row. Or backstage, fixing the lights." She laughed. He heard it. And for the first time since his accident, Eli laughed too. Love wasn't supposed to bloom here. But it was. In a place where people fought for every breath, two hearts were finding rhythm. One morning, Eli woke to silence. No music. No notes. No tapping. He blinked rapidly. His chest tightened, not from pain, but panic. He pressed the nurse call button. When she arrived, he whispered, "Lena." The nurse nodded kindly. "She's okay. She was moved to the recovery floor early this morning." Relief washed over him. But her absence hit harder than he expected. He felt the space between them like a hole in his chest. That day, he didn't play any music. He just lay there, staring at the place where her curtain used to hang. But the next night, he played "I'll Be Seeing You." Quietly. For her. 3 weeks passed. Eli worked with therapists daily. He learned to sit, to will himself short distances, and even started learning harmonica, something simple to keep his hands moving. He didn't know if he'd ever see Lena again. Then came the invitation. The hospital was hosting a Recovery Day celebration in the garden. All recent ICU patients were invited. Eli insisted on going. It was warm and sunny. The small garden was decorated with string lights and balloons. Staff clapped as patients rolled and walked in. Some carried oxygen tanks. Others, like Eli, came with hope stitched into every step. A hush fell as a nurse took the mic. "We have a very special performer today. She found her strength here, and now she wants to share her voice." Lena stepped forward. She had lost weight. Walked slowly. But her eyes sparkled like dawn. She saw him immediately. Eli, sitting near the front. Their eyes locked. No curtain. No machines. Just air and light. She smiled and began to sing. "I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places." Her voice was softer, but filled with grace. The audience was silent, breathless. Halfway through, Eli raised his harmonica. He joined in. Shaky, offbeat, but beautiful. When they finished, everyone clapped. Nurses wiped tears. One patient clutched their spouse. Lena walked straight to him. He reached for her hand. She sat beside him. "Now I know your face," she whispered. "And I already knew your heart," he replied. In the Garden of Healing, surrounded by survivors and angels in scrubs, they found what sickness had almost stolen. Love. In the quiet rooms where hope flickers faint, two souls found a harmony no illness could taint. Bound by rhythm, healed by grace. They proved love blooms in the unlikeliest place. So when the world grows silent, don't despair the air. Sometimes, a song, and a heart, is waiting there. Asterisk.